Correct. I didn't like it. It was difficult. The reason I did that, do check it. That being said, English is a derivative of German. Different it's Germanic and Latin.
Yeah, it's too early for her, but she'll be doing it too.
So they're kind of.
But that's the worst place they do it.
Yeah, I got him bath for him because of the bath, and my aunt was like, "Why didn't you do that?" Now he's going to be getting color
Anywhere.
I love him though. He hates baths, and it entertained him for hours. Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah, there he is.
It's just Hebrew.
And just wait about
Any more work for
yeah, okay. Maybe
Yeah, that's right.
right.
I knew he did that freshman year.
I'd like to call this regular meeting to order. Call roll.
Mayor Querom.
Here.
Councilmember Swanson.
Here.
Mabry. Fabia.
Here.
Newman.
Aye. Please stand and join us in the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start out tonight. We have a no. Anybody? I could go. You guys ready to go now?
Sure.
Yeah. We have our accountants from Bloomington, Spiegel, Knobloch and Company, and they're here to give us our yearly update or finalization of our yearly audit. So just your name.
Sure. My name's Ben Smith. I'm a partner at Spiegel Knobloch. I'm the partner in charge of the Princeton audit. I'm here with Brian Rowald and Steve Arndt. Steve's the manager that works closely with the audit. Steve is going to give the report on the internal controls after I'm done going over the audit. I just wanted to mention a few words about the contract accountants that you had hired in the past year. I think they made a huge difference in the accounting of the city. The books were in far better shape this year compared to all the prior years that we've done the audit. Bank accounts were reconciled and agreed to the general ledger. Accruals and receivables were recorded at the end of the fiscal year as opposed to our firm making those adjustments for the city. We received quick responses anytime we had questions from them, so they were very easy to work with. Rachel was also excellent to work with. Rachel's been very helpful every year we've done the audit, and I think it's provided really good leadership for the city. Just a couple of things that will probably improve over the next year. I think the audit will be more timely next year with another year under the belt of the contract accountants. We should get the trial balance by the time we start next year, and then some accounting issues that are still being resolved will be resolved by the time the next audit occurs. So, does everybody have a copy of the audit report? So if you look at page 4 of the report, this is the independent auditor's report. This is what you're paying our firm for, to give an opinion on your financial statements. So the second paragraph of this report talks about what management's responsibility is for the financial statement. And management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. The next paragraph talks about auditors' responsibilities. Our responsibility is to express an opinion on the financial statements based on our audit. The next sentence says that we did not audit the Julie Rackley Perry Memorial Hospital. Other auditors performed this audit. We conducted our audit in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America and standards applicable to financial audits contained in government auditing standards. The following paragraph discusses what's involved in an audit. An audit involves performing procedures to obtain audit evidence about the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. Moving to the next page. At the top of the page, there's a paragraph regarding basis for qualified opinion. So we had to qualify our opinion for two different reasons, and they're explained in that section. One, the necessary information to provide all the disclosures for the fire and police pension was not available, and this is an item that will be corrected by the contract accountants in the current year. Also, the information to fully disclose the post-retirement benefits related to the self-insurance wasn't all the way available. So, and that should be going off your financial statements in the future. So the next paragraph is our opinion. In our opinion, except for the possible effects of the matters discussed in the basis for qualified opinion paragraph, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities, business activities, and the aggregate discretely presented component units, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the city as of April 30th, 2018. So it's a clean opinion except for the two items noted above. The following paragraph discusses some required supplementary information. We did not audit the supplementary information, and we also did not include the management discussion and analysis. This is also something that the contract accountants will help Rachel include in the audit next year. And all that is a narrative talking about the results of the financial activities of the city during the year and different information that the city manager might find important to the community. So the next paragraph discusses that our opinion to the financial statements is not affected by not including the management discussion and analysis. On the following page, the top paragraph talks about combining non-major fund financial information, which is supplemental information, and we do give an opinion on that. That's part of your basic financial statements, the summary of that. So moving on to the actual financial statements, on page 8 is the statement of net position. So this would be the equivalent of the balance sheet of the city as a whole. Just a couple items to note on this. Your cash and cash equivalents at the end of the year were $4,143,000. This is compared to $3,342,000 of the prior year, so your total cash increased by about $800,000 from the prior year. The next item I wanted to note was the combination of the deferred outflow, and then on the following page, the IMRF pension liability and the deferred inflow. The combination of those three numbers would be your total IMRF pension liability at the end of the year. So your total actuarial pension liability at the end of 2018 for IMRF was $2.5 million, and this compared to about $2.4 million the prior year. So your IMRF pension liability only increased about $100,000 from the prior year. And any number of items can affect this number: market-based returns, age of employees, retirees, etc. The next item on page 9 is your police and fire pension liability. This was $6.7 million, and this was an increase of $1.5 million from the prior year. Next would be the combination of the notes payable and the bonds payable. Your total debt for the year was $28,011,000, and this is compared to $30,667,000 the prior year. So your total debt decreased by $2.65 million from the prior year. In total, your total net position, which is essentially the equity of the city, if you look at the bottom of the page, total net positions for the year was $59,239,358. This was a decrease of $868,505 from the prior year. So this was a lot of this, even though your cash increased, depreciation and those pension liabilities increasing helped cause a little bit of a loss this year. that those are non-cash items for the most part. The next section on page 10, the statement of activities. This is essentially the income statement for the city as a whole. On the left-hand portion are the functional expenses of the city. And then you have program revenues, charges for service, fines, fees, and permits, operating grants and contributions. On the following pages, these are netted together at the top of the page. And then at the bottom of the pages, you have your various tax revenues. So the net of all of that, if you look at the bottom right hand, the change in net position of the city was a negative $868,505 compared to the prior year. You had a net increase of $1,054,000. So last year, operationally for the city as a whole, was slightly better than this year. Moving on, those are the only actual numbers I was going to go over. I was just going to give you a quick overview of what the actual statements entail. So the next section are the fund financial statements for the governmental funds. You have the balance sheet, and then a reconciliation between the government-wide financial statements and the governmental funds on page 14. Page 15 is the statement of revenue and expenditures and changes in fund balances. This is essentially the income statement for the governmental funds. And then again on page 17 is a reconciliation between those fund financial statements and the government-wide financial statements. So that reconciliation helps explain the difference in the fund financial statements compared to the government-wide. The next page is the statement of net position for proprietary funds. Again, this is the balance sheet for the proprietary funds. And these are on the same accounting basis as the government-wide, so there's no reconciliation between this and the government-wide. It's just broken out by fund here. So you have the statement of net position. Page 20 is the statement of revenue and exchanges and fund balance. Page 21 is the statement of cash flows. And then on page 23 is the statement of fiduciary net position for the police and firemen's pension. So this shows what the assets are. However, the actuarial liabilities are not included on this statement. So even though it shows you have $16.284 million, there's an actuarial liability that's greater than that. That's reflected on the government-wide financial statement. On page 24 is the statement of changes in fiduciary net position of the pension funds. This shows the property tax, the contributions to the fund, and then the investment income netted by the administrative expenses and the pension benefits that are paid out. So essentially this is the cash basis form of the pension fund. Next are the notes of the financial statements. The notes provide additional information to various account balances in the financial statements. They go into quite a bit of detail, especially in regards to the pension funds. In your free time, if you want to look, the capital assets and the debt provide some pretty good information. After the notes, on page 62 are the required supplementary information. Most of this is additional information on the IMRF pension funds with different actuarial information provided. Starting on page 66 are the budgetary comparison schedules for the major governmental funds, and then reconciliations between budgetary basis and the basis used in the fund financial statements. So those go on for a number of pages. Page 73 is the combining statements for the non-major governmental funds. So the smaller funds are reported in this section and then combined on the fund financial statements earlier in the financial statements. And then finally, there's some statistical information dealing with electrical and water services, insurance coverages, and then assessed valuation for property taxes on page 79, and then a schedule of legal debt margin on page 80. So that's a quick overview of what's in the financial statements. If anybody has any questions, Rachel would have my contact information. Feel free to contact me in your review of the financial statements. If you have any questions on anything, I'd be happy to explain anything to you that Rachel might not be able to explain. Steve is going to go over the internal control report.
So you do not have a copy of this yet. It is in draft form. We're still needing the management analysis, which Rachel will take care of, and you should have relatively shortly. But I'll go over it anyway just to give everyone the information that we found during the audit that relates to the financial statements. The first thing I'd want to say is when you're going to compare it year over year, one significant thing dropped off, and that was cash. Cash was reconciled, agreed to the general ledger, agreed to the statements. It was, we were pleased, to say the least, when we got here. So we're very pleased with what we saw on that. It's the main issue we had last year and years before that too. Finally, cash looks like it's in a decent position as far as record keeping. So the few items on here, Ben also mentioned, some of these will come off because of the increased scope of your contract accountants, as well as some things dropping off like self-insurance, which the city no longer does. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is investments reconciliation. The investments for the pension funds were not recorded at market value. Their fair market value, which is required by GAAP, they were reported at cost. So that required an audit adjustment to get those up to their market value. Next year, the contract accountants should be able to take care of that, no problem. The other items, a self-insurance fund, there was no actuarial report for the health benefits. That's going to come up since you're no longer using that self-insurance. Police and firemen's pensions didn't have the actuarial funds, actuarial reports to complete the financial statements. That's why that's on there. And then inventory. There's a significant inventory on the books. Was that for the electric fund?
The proprietary funds.
Yeah, the proprietary funds had a large balance of inventory, and we could not observe it, and we didn't get a great report of what is included in that amount. I believe Lauterbach and everyone is going to take a hard look at that this year and come back to us next year with a good report, and hopefully we can observe the information as well. That is everything. Does anyone have any questions regarding that? I think you probably have more questions on this item than the financial statements, at least for now.
How long have you guys been doing our auditing?
6 years?
Is it 6? I was going to say about 5.
Maybe 5? Probably 5. Is it 6? Okay.
So when you compare where we were 5 or 6 years ago,
150% better.
yeah.
I'd say
That's what I wanted to hear.
I'd say light years is how I term it.
And I've also noticed that every year, it seems like we're doing a little bit better than the year before, and it sounds like this year, head and shoulders over the year before.
Huge difference.
Correct. I was saying in my own personal life is constant improvement. We may not all reach perfection, but we can always constantly improve. And that's what we should be shooting for. So, and I think everyone's on the right track. So,
and the contract accountants that we have, the firm that we're using, is obviously a big reason for that. So I'm glad.
Correct.
So that's Lauterbach and Amen. And then recently, like they mentioned, I've been talking to the fire pension and police pension probably for 6 months, and they've agreed to use them to complete these other reports that they need to do, and they'll also do their monthly investment reconciliation. So that just started this month when the pension boards approved that.
It's money well spent.
Absolutely.
Anybody has any doubts?
Totally agree.
And us too.
Any other questions, any comments? Well, thanks, guys, for coming up and giving us the report. Appreciate all the work you've done. We've been working on it for quite a while now, so it's always nice to get it
We
done.
appreciate the business. We enjoy working with Rachel. Thank you again.
Thanks, guys. Anybody have any public comment? Then we'll go to the approval of minutes. We'll go to Commissioner Newman.
Thank you, Mayor. I make a motion that we approve the minutes from our regular council meeting on October 15th, 2018.
Second.
Motion's been second. Any corrections? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Now we'll go to the approval of invoices with City Clerk Nelson.
In the Department of Accounts and Finances, we have bills totaling this period of $217,971.10. In the Department of Streets and Public Improvements, we have invoices totaling $545,462.34. In the Department of Public Safety, we have invoices totaling $214,389.79. And in the Department of Public Property and Utilities, we have invoices totaling $350,807.78. Mayor, all council members present have confirmed their reviews of all invoices and now are submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve the invoices as presented.
Second.
Motion's been second. Any comments or corrections? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. We'll go to regular business and City Clerk Nelson.
Next item on the agenda is Ordinance O-18-026. This is an ordinance adopting an amendment to the sexual harassment prohibition policy of the City of Princeton. This is first reading. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-18-026 to the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been second. I'll turn it over to Rachel.
So this is just an amendment to our sexual harassment policy that is part of our personnel manual, and this is a new state requirement for this update, and it's just updating the language to say that any incident has to be reported within 300 days. That's the only change.
Motion has been seconded. Any comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is Ordinance O-18-027. This is an ordinance authorizing an agreement with American Tower Corporation, and this is for first reading. All council members have reviewed this ordinance, and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-18-027 to the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been second. Rachel?
So this is an agreement with AT&T for
It's actually
ACT. I always call it
ATC.
ATC. Thank you. For tower, and we're still working on a few housekeeping items to the agreement, and we'll have those completed before the second reading. Are there any specific questions on this agreement?
This is the tower that's located out by our wastewater plant, West Clark Street, way out on West Clark Street.
So it's an existing tower that this company would just as soon own the land versus pay us rent or something like that?
This would be for their antenna, Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, on that.
It's for an exclusive easement to have access to the pole and the appurtenances that are associated with it. And they'll take over full management of the tower.
We still own the tower. We still own the property.
We don't own the tower.
Own
You
the
own the
property.
land that the
Okay.
tower is on.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is Resolution R-18-038. This is a resolution identifying a revenue source to support an ambulance loan from the Office of the State Fire Marshal. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this resolution and it is submitted for disposition.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Resolution R-18-038.
Second.
Motion's been second. Rachel?
So this is a loan through the fire marshal, the state fire marshal, and Chuck and his Chief Woolley and his team have been working on this. This is when it is time for a new ambulance, a source of revenue that we could use if this was awarded to us. The interest rate is less than 1.5%, and if it was awarded, we would evaluate it at that time if the ambulance was going to be replaced that year, and then we'd also look at local lending options too. But this resolution was required as part of the grant application or the loan application.
Any further comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is Resolution R-18-039. This is a resolution accepting the water chemical bids for the 2019 operating year. There was a public invitation for bidding. The bids were opened last Thursday, the 25th, and the low bidders had been revealed, which is in the resolution. And so everybody has had a chance to review this, and it is submitted for disposition.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Resolution R-18-039 for the water chemicals bid for the 2019 operating year.
Second.
Motion's been second. Any comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Thank you, Pete. Now go to City Manager report.
I just have a couple things. First, I wanted to give some credit to the Water Department. We just got this award from the Illinois Department of Public Health, and this award was in recognition of achieving the highest standard of compliance for our Water Department for at least 25 years in accordance with the Illinois Fluoridation Act. There we go. So this is from 1989 to 2017. They've got this award. So we are proud of that, and it's by the Division of Oral Health and Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, Division of Water, Public Water Supplies. The other thing I wanted to note is that City Hall will be closed on Monday, November 12th in observance of Veterans Day. That's all I have.
Thank you, Rachel. I only have one thing. I was notified by Scott Bickett. He is running the Illinois Valley Toy Run, and he had a toy run here in Princeton on October 21st. The toy run had 185 cars that came to town from all over north central Illinois. They took in over 3,500 toys for needy families this Christmas. These toys will be distributed after the Christmas parade. It's coming up, I think, on December 2nd, I think somewhere, I think it's December 2nd. These toys will be distributed through the Elks Project Success and generally in families in need through the American Legion. So good job to the Illinois Valley Toy Run. Any old business? Any new business? Public comment? Okay, we entertain a motion to... Oh, sorry. Hector, just your name, Hector.
Real quick. Hello, Hector. I just want to remind everybody that Veterans Day will be observed obviously on the 12th of November, and we'll be holding a ceremony here down by Veterans Park at 10:45. Starting. What time is it? It starts at 10:45 for the 11 hour, the 7th day, 11 month Armistice Day.
Thanks, Hector. Oh, thank you. That's it. Thank you, Ray. Tomorrow is Election Day. It's going to be a big one, and midterm elections, and we got a lot of local issues on the ballot as well as state. And so I just ask everybody to get out and vote. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting and reconvene at our next.
I move that we adjourn our regular meeting tonight and reconvene for our next council meeting on Monday, November 19th, 2018, 7 o'clock at City Hall.
Second.
Motion's been second. Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Fabia.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned, and thank you all for coming.